Hey, what's going on, everyone? Gillis TV back here. Sorry, haven't posted in a few days. Got the flu, and of course, went out for the anniversary supper. Today's the anniversary, so I'm even glad she's letting me post a video. But we got some Edmonton Oilers discussion here today. I know after the whole Broberg Holloway news, the Askarov trade, NHL's been pretty quiet lately of its NHL news, so we're going to look into the Edmonton Oilers here, and one of the biggest question marks for sure going into this season is how is Ty Emberson going to fit into this Oilers D and that right side of the Oilers D. Of course, we've been hearing a bunch of PTOs for like Tenorti, Dermott, Barry, Schultz, Shattenkirk, but we're going to kind of take this further into the season a little bit, and if the Oilers do decide to take these defensemen as Stretcher, Brown, and Emberson as the right-handed second, third pairing D and an extra, and who could possibly be a trade chip throughout the season for the Edmonton Oilers if they don't work out. But before I get started, if you're new to the channel, like anything Edmonton Oilers related or NHL from no matter what team there is, trades, news, signings, whatever there is in the world of the NHL, we'll have it covered here on the channel for you. Thank you guys for all the support as of late. We are currently 101 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. I can't express all the support I've had over the year. It's been greatly appreciated. Now let's get into this. This name's been kind of flying around for about pretty much the Cody Ceci trade, and when the Oilers decided, hey, we're not going to match either one of the offer sheets, and that's Rasmus Andersson. And before I get into this, I know in the comments there's going to be, Calgary's not going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Why would Calgary help? We'll get into that. We'll talk about both sides here. So Rasmus Andersson actually is a pretty solid defenseman. Yes, I get he's on Calgary, but he is a solid defenseman and could help this Edmonton Oilers team. Now, with not matching those offer sheets of Broberg and Holloway, the Oilers at this time, by the trade deadline, will have $4.4 million in accumulated cap space. Now, that's with no injuries, no LTIR for Vander Kane, and so on and so forth. But the Oilers could make a Rasmus Andersson trade work. Now, he's currently on his final 2 years of his current contract with a 4.55 AAV per year for the next 2 years. Now, before everyone gets into that, well, we only have 4.4. Yeah, you easily send down Troy Stetcher, Josh Brown, Ty Emberson, whoever, and it clears that cap room for that $150,000 that the Oilers need in order to get Rasmus Andersson. Now, I know there's going to be a comment saying, why would Calgary try and do this? Well, if you remember last deadline this past season, before we went out and got Carrick and Henrique and Stretcher and whoever else, the Oilers were in talks with the Calgary Flames about a Cody Ceci plus a pick or a prospect for Chris Tanev. It was Chris Tanev that said no to that deal. It was not the Calgary Flames. So the fact that the Calgary Flames are open, and this is all dependent on where they are in the season by this time, where the Oilers feel like they need to add that other right side defenseman, need someone like that. Rasmus Andersson would be perfect for the Edmonton Oilers. He could play with Darnell Nurse. He does put up points. He is very physical, and I believe that Rasmus Andersson could be on the Oilers' target list. Now, like I said, that's part where I know in the comments people are going to say, Calgary's not going to do this, Calgary's not going to do that. Calgary's in a overhaul right now. They're trying to get a rebuild without technically rebuilding. The Oilers have the cap space at the deadline to acquire Rasmus Andersson. They possibly could do that. So there are a lot of things going into this, of course. The name's been thrown around by a couple of YouTubers, a couple of insiders. So I'm just kind of going off of what I believe. And if the Oilers do want to take this road, and I'm saying if they do, not that, they are going to, they could financially fit Rasmus Andersson into the payroll for the salary cap that the Oilers have accumulated by then. Now, like I said, this is all speculation. The name's been out there and whatnot, and Rasmus Andersson would actually help the right side of the defense. So I keep looking at my phone here because I'm trying to get Rasmus Andersson's stats to load up. It doesn't seem like NHL.com really wants to work right now, so we'll see if it loads one more time. There we go. Rasmus Andersson is a perfect defenseman. Last year played 78 games with the Calgary Flames, 39 points, minus 11 for his career. He has 200 points in 455 games and has a plus 23. He did have a down year for his plus minus last year, but the year before I believe he was a plus 30. So the guy is a really good defenseman, and I believe the Oilers kind of have him on their radar. Of course, throughout the season, things are going to change, but the biggest question is that right side of our defense now. After trading Cody Ceci, which a lot of fans were happy about, a lot of fans were like, hey, he was up and down roller coaster ride. And some fans were saying, well, you played with Darnell Nurse, what do you expect? I do agree with that one. It is hard to play with Darnell Nurse. Even a lot of people close to the team are saying it's hard to play with Darnell Nurse. But Rasmus Andersson could be a defenseman. Of course, has 2 years left this year and next year of his contract. Now, before everyone say, well, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, that's fine. Draisaitl still fit into this. McDavid and Bouchard are free agents the same year as Rasmus Andersson is. We don't have to worry about that. That's why Adam Henrique's here for 2 years. Victor Arvidsson's here for 2 years. This is all part of Jeff Jackson's plan to make it so there's so much salary cap space available that if a team does try to get McDavid, the Oilers can match. I believe as of right now, without Draisaitl signed, the Oilers have like 62 or 67 million the year in salary cap room the year McDavid's contract ends after that season. So they are in perfect standard to get all three of those guys signed and who else they need to sign by that point. So when you talk about a guy that has 2 years left on his contract, it still works with all of Jeff Jackson's plan. It gives the Oilers a solid defenseman. And you know what? Rasmus Andersson's only 27. He'll be 29 by the end of this deal. If you like what he brings, you can sign him for another 4 more years if you want. He has a really reasonable cap hit right now at 4.55, and I believe the Oilers do have him on their radar. Not saying they are going to pull a trade anytime soon for him, but this is in case that right side of the defense is kind of slipping away, giving up opportunities, and they need to fill that hole. I believe Rasmus Andersson could possibly be the one name they do circle around, ask Calgary about if he's available. Now, I get this is all dependent on if Calgary, how they are doing. If they are out of the playoff spot by the trade deadline, I can see them doing this. If they're fighting for one, that's a little bit tougher, but who knows? It is the NHL. It is a business. We've seen that with Holloway and Broberg and what Broberg's agent was saying. But that's it for me today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the Oilers do have Rasmus Andersson kind of on their radar in case things go south with Emberson, Brown, or Stretcher? Let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. Have a good one.